Welcome to my Yoga Christmas special, a gift from me to you over this busy season. Let's begin by getting comfortable in a seated position. If it's uncomfortable to sit, then sit on some pillows and even maybe put pillows underneath your knees. Getting as comfortable as you can, straightening the spine, close the eyes. And with your eyes closed, just take a moment to notice the position of your spine, aligning the tops of your shoulders so that they stack above your hips, creating a level chin and bringing your head to a position where it feels like your ears are above your shoulders and above your hips. Begin by taking in longer inhale and a longer exhale. With each passing breath, start to create more sensation through the spine. Become more awake to the sensations around your spine. And in many ways, reference to the tree of life is a reference to the spine, to the experience of the self. And so as you're breathing, imagine your spine like a tree rooting down into the earth. With each breath, becoming more aware of your tree rooting down into the earth. Your spine rooting down into the planet. Noticing if you can relax the hips or relax the pelvis. Continue to create an inhale and an exhale that are the same length, the same sound as you breathe in and out of the nose. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. And just take a moment to sit with gratitude and bring that gratitude into the present moment, expanding your thanks into all of the areas of your life, expanding your thanks to the bigger challenges that you currently face. Let us put down any resistance to being here. Let us put aside all burdens, all weight that you carry on your shoulders. Allow the ground to hold your weight. let's begin by opening the eyes and bringing ourselves forward onto the hands and knees. And on the hands and knees, let's turn the hands around, facing the fingers towards the knees, and really trying to rotate the arms so that the middle fingers become parallel. Then start to sit back gently. Maybe it doesn't require very much movement as you sit back towards the heels, breathing into the opening of your hands and arms and shoulders. Bringing the weight forward, let's turn the hands to face forward, sitting back towards child's pose with your hips towards your heels and reaching your arms out in front of you. Let's lift the palms of the hands and keep the arms straight. As you sink your belly heavy onto your thighs, we can relax the head towards the ground. Looking towards the hands, walk your hands over towards the left side of the body and keeping the arms straight, breathe into the open side. And walk the hands back to center, walking the hands over to the opposite side. And let's bring the hands back in front. And we'll come forward onto the hands and the knees. See if we can push up into the top of a push-up. So high plank, legs are straight, arms are straight, chest starting to look forward. And from here, inhale and exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog. Inhale into high plank. Exhale into downward facing dog. Hips lifting up as you sink the chest. Inhale to high plank. And we'll keep moving with the breath. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale into high plank. Exhale, downward dog. And last time. Take your right foot and step forward. And if you can't step to the front of your mat, pick up the foot and bring it to the front of the mat. We'll draw the left knee to the floor, and hands can come underneath or on top of the right thigh. If your knee needs padding, feel free to use a pillow or fold your mat. In the low lunge, start to sit the pelvis a little heavier and structure your body so that your hips are the same height and your shoulders are at the same height. Aligning your spine so that there is ease in the extension of your neck. Exhale, hands coming down to the ground. And step back, pushing into downward facing dog. Left foot can step forward, and you can pick up the foot and bring it further. Starting to sit your sit bone towards the center of your heel on your front foot. Getting clear breaths, getting rhythmic in your breath. And exhale, hands down to the ground, and we'll push back into downward facing dog. Let's walk both feet to the front of the mat, and we'll hang out in a forward fold. You can cross your arms and hang your torso with a bit of a bend in your knees. And then bending the knees, rolling up the spine. Shoulders can roll back. Let's take the hands together behind the back, clasping your fingers, or if that's not possible, grabbing your wrists. And from here, feet together, and we'll take the left foot back. Coming into a forward fold, both legs will stay straight. Bring your shoulders both to face forward. And inhale, lengthen the front of your spine. Exhale, shifting to halfway with your spine straight, leading with your pelvis tilting back. Keeping the legs engaged by lifting the toes. And starting to fold the spine, the crown of the head releasing towards the earth. And if there's room to bring your arms into more action, then keep releasing the neck. And inhale, come back up. And step forward. Then we'll take the right foot back. Inhale, lengthen the front of the spine. And exhale, coming to halfway. So arching your upper back slightly to straighten out your spine. Bringing your left hip away from the front of your mat. As you fold deeper into the pose, notice if the right shoulder is heavier or the left shoulder is heavier, and balance it out. Releasing the crown of your head towards the earth. And inhale, come back up. And exhale, step forward. releasing the hands. Let's reach the hands up, clasping the fingers together, and push up through the palms of the hands. Look down at your toes. Bring the front of your belly and rib cage in towards your spine until you can see your toes. And keeping the rib cage in towards the spine, bring your head back to center. Exhale, releasing the arms. Inhale, reaching the arms up, palms pressing. And exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, step onto your hands, step all the way up to your palms or your wrists, and lean forward. Inhale, arching the back. Exhale, releasing the crown of the head towards the ground. Release your hands. Place your hands on the ground. Step back into high plank. And we'll take 5 breaths to lower down into chaturanga. So we shift forward past the hands and bend the elbows. Pushing into the ground to control, elbows into the body. And then come back down to the ground. And here we'll take the hands behind the back. Chin on the floor. And inhale, lift the chest. And reach the arms towards the feet. Let's try to keep the legs and feet down on the ground. Exhale, release the hands beside your chest and push back into downward dog. Let's bring the left knee forward and walk the right foot back. So the knee is bent, and if I'm not sitting on the floor, then I might put a towel between the butt and the floor. Top of the back foot can point or flex. And I'm trying to shift my body's weight back into my back pockets. So I'm pushing my body weight back towards my pelvis. Moving into the pigeon as you sit a little heavier in the hips. And of course you could take another variation of this pose. Maybe the forearms on the ground. Maybe your head resting on your hands. But keep shifting the weight back towards the tailbone.
And then pushing back into downward facing dog. And bringing the right knee forward. Behind the right wrist. Walking the left leg back. And perhaps using some blankets or pillows to create more support between the hips and the ground. As you're breathing in this pose, really letting go of the weight of expectations in your body, being in the present moment requires us to let go of the future, to let go of the past in order to really be present. And so with each breath, just giving your body the okay to release towards the pelvis. We could take a different variation with the forearms on the ground or the head resting on the hands. We'll come back into downward facing dog. Stretch the back of the legs all the way towards the wall behind you. Push the front of your thighs away from your chest. Come down to your knees, onto all fours, and we'll take the right arm and reach underneath the left arm, lowering the back of the shoulder onto the ground. Then take your left hand and push the left shoulder back, as if you were trying to roll onto your back. As you inhale, breathe into a big rib cage. And as you exhale, try to draw your abdomen towards the spine. Coming onto all fours and reaching through with your left arm, lowering onto the back of your left shoulder and pushing your right shoulder back. And coming back up onto all fours, let's sit back towards the heels. We'll bring the knees together. And we're going to come up to a kneeling position. Place the hands on the back of the pelvis and pushing the tailbone forward. Roll the upper arms back together. and breathing to lift the chest. Keep adjusting the tailbone forward and keep lifting the ribs up. Let's push back into downward facing dog and press every finger into the ground, spreading the toes and connecting to the sound of your breath. The sound of your breath washing through the body. And we'll bring the knees down to the ground, sit back to the heels, and we'll lay onto our backs, getting ready for the bridge. In this posture, bending your knees and walking your feet towards your hips. We'll begin to lift the pelvis up as we press the shoulders and upper arms back into the ground. Your hands could stay by the hips, or if it's within your range of motion, clasping your fingers together, reaching your hands towards your feet. Maintaining even, rhythmic inhalations and exhalations. We'll bring the pelvis back to the earth and relax for a moment. And we'll begin again to lift the hips. And your arms can be supporting underneath the hips if that's available, or the hands could press down into the earth. Trying to press into the feet to bring weight towards the shoulders. Bring the hips back down to the ground and relax. We'll go for one more time, doing the variation that makes sense to your body. We'll bring the hips up again. The hands can support the hips or clasp or press the ground. And if it's in your practice, you could take this posture further into the back bend, starting by pressing onto the top of the head, maintaining elbows squeezing together. Be mindful of your breath. And we'll come down to the ground. We'll move into shoulder stand. But if you have a neck injury or you're iffy about your neck, then skip this posture. If you can bring the hips up, either with the feet on the wall or without, and support your hips with your hands. Creating an even inhale and exhale, finding the perfect balance point on the shoulders without pressure in the neck. You can let your knees sink towards your chest, and with a heavy bend in your knees, staying here, or if it's within your mobility, beginning to straighten the legs, bringing the toes towards the ground above your head. Your hands can support your low back, or your hands can press down into the ground. As you come out of the posture, try to control one vertebra at a time and allow your feet to come down to the ground, and we'll relax completely into our final resting posture. We want to stay here, present in the body, and completely let go of effort. Resting in the center of the heart. Notice the stillness. Rest deeply in the stillness of your heart. And stay here for as long as you can. Have a great 2020. And my hope for you is that you return to your heart often. Namaste.